It's a strange place to be straddling two worlds, but not really. I mean, I feel through and through American, but I also don't really know what that means a lot of the time. I barely know my grandparents' names that died before I was born, you know? It's like our connection to our past, our history that like grounds us is lost almost. More zip ties? Ooh. I imagine if we got even just like the middle ones and like even like one or like either corner, then those corners would be okay. Well, I think I was encouraged by my parents really young to be creative and to do stuff. I used to draw on myself all the time with markers, and they didn't scold me, they laughed instead, and so encouraged me to keep being creative. I'm afraid of heights, but it's okay. If I can get it. Yeah. This will work. Yay. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, thank you. My father passed away when I was 6 years old, so that connection to my culture was kind of lost. And I think that's also part of why I make art. It's this like constant like trying to reconnect with him through learning about Japan, learning about the culture, and kind of trying to be closer to him in that way. Part of it is like a sheer like sorrow of loss, you know, like losing my father at that age. And there's this constant like feeling of loss, like I don't have part of myself with my father, but also culturally. That's what drives me, this incompleteness. Well, my father was incarcerated in Tule Lake, and I went on pilgrimage to Tule Lake, to the site of Tule Lake. He was 10 at the time. Block 45 was the living quarter block that my father was assigned to, and his family. And there was something about trying to understand them, the immensity of this camp. Like this is like 1/100th of scale. And imagine there were like over 100 blocks, right? So 45 was his block, and there were like 20 something buildings. I was just compelled to like understand that architecture and know the starkness of it and the repetition of it. But then, like, I wanted to make it somehow hopeful too, so I made them into lanterns. Lanterns, they kind of guide spirits back. And then putting flowers inside of them was also this kind of like, yeah, like a positive energy too. So, and those were supposed to be sort of symbolizing the people inside of those barracks. But then all those like images of like in the media at the time that were just oppressing them so much. Those were so much more overt and like so hateful, full of like direct malice. It's not about looking, it's about like actual study, like almost like just really reproducing them almost to the T, because I want to understand the images in this really visceral way. It makes me feel sad, but I like feel like I'm doing a kind of good too, in a way, to just like make people confront the hate that was there, and almost like warn or caution that like this is what we're capable of. So I don't know, I want people to look at them like straight on. I think just confronting that personal past with, and like also seeing what's happening now with the demonization of immigrants and Muslims and you know, all just like this us versus them, and just the political climate right now. I felt like it was really important to like talk about that from my perspective. I think also with, you know, becoming a mother and like being afraid for my children and like in the world right now, like just needing to have an outlet to talk about that past and make sure that they know where they came from, but also to tell other people about what happened.